On today's Buckeye Roast, we start with a full national recap of Week 2, hitting the biggest headlines and results across college football. Back in the Big Ten, Julian Sayin earns conference honors at quarterback, and we'll ask, where does he rank amongst the league's best? That leads us onto our top 5 quarterback ranking in the Big Ten right now. And finally, how much has the expanded playoff changed Ryan Day's approach to the season? We'll break down what difference it has made and what it hasn't changed for Ohio State. I'm Chris Drew. This is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Please like and subscribe.
Good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Q. How you doing?
Another day in paradise, man. Just, getting my stuff moved out, moving to my new apartment soon. So I'll have a new backdrop coming pretty soon here. So excited for that. How are you?
Pretty good. Have you started decorating for the new place yet? Have you purchased decorations for the new place?
No, but I got some ideas. So at least there's a vision.
Everybody thinks that's a hairdryer behind you. I'm guessing that's going to be making the trip with you.
Yeah, that is a hair steamer. A hair dryer, but close.
I wouldn't know anything about it. Yeah. I have a hat sewed on.
It's the fountain of youth.
Absolutely. Q, I normally have a stat of the day, kind of, or a number or something. But today, you
just
brought
an
a question.
asshole in the morning.
Hey, I mean, tomato.
Yeah, I got some trivia for you. So I will give you 3 guesses here. All right, so this is for you and the chat. Trivia: how much money do you think Americans are predicted to bet on the NFL this season? Spoiler alert, it's in the billions.
Oh, I was going to say in the billions, so I was off to a good start.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was in the billions makes me think that I'm going to guess entirely too low. My initial instinct was 8 billion, but given the question, I would imagine it's something even more ridiculous than that. So I'm
trying to reason an answer out of me. Is that a guess or no? You got 3.
No, I'm going. Okay, my guess is all right. My first guess is 8.
No, that's not correct. Go higher.
My second guess is 43.
Not quite that degenerate. Go lower.
I'm going to guess they are expected to bet 25 billion.
You are close. $30 billion of betting this season. I don't know how much they'll win or lose, but I mean, that's a hell of a revenue for Vegas.
I mean, I know how much I'll lose, all of it. I'm terrible at betting. I saw some show. I was like, why are you guys talking about these games if you can't talk about betting on them? I'm like, so I'm a betting expert. I'm an expert at watching football, not betting on it.
I'm an expert at football or betting. I'm an expert at looking at it.
I'm saying, Hall of Fame Twitter coach over here. I don't know what show you thought you tuned into, but
as we discussed in pre-show, I'm one of 2 on bets this season so far. First bet, Florida State. I did win that one. Now, I did take that during the beginning of the game, so maybe I cheated.
Oh, you're forgetting a bet. No, you lost the bet when I told you to bet Kansas State week 0.
I did lose that one. I forgot about that. That's like me. I'll put that one on Ron. Then last week I bet Arizona State. Who was it? Arizona State and then Michigan.
And Michigan.
Yeah,
you bet the money line on both of those. We might need a fade Q segment on Fridays. You pick 2 games and then everyone bets the opposite. See how many times we hit this season.
Yeah, I did pretty well last season, so we'll bring it back on Friday. We'll cap all the games. We'll get our bets for the degenerates out. They don't take picks from anybody.
Yeah, Q. Big news. You have a new podcast you're starting, right?
Oh, okay. My other random stat of the day. So I'm going to I guess it would be today. I'm going to my first WNBA game, the Phoenix Mercury versus the LA Sparks. So I was like, hey, maybe I'll grab some merch, for the game. I'll go out there, represent Ron. I go up there. Merch is anywhere from the low end, $60 to $120 for merch for a WNBA game.
You're going to get us canceled.
fine. Should have said we'll edit that out. But it's overpriced, bro. That's all I'm saying.
We're gonna have to cut this out of the show.
Play the music. Play the music.
See, and this is why you can't tell Q things in pre-production. I made the joke. You know what? We should do a podcast where we just say all kinds of things that are reckless, and then we just edit over the entire thing. Q's like, you know what? Good idea. Let's do that on this show at 2 a.m. as if you don't have to go to bed after this. And now I have to now edit the intro to the show because Q's an idiot.
Well, I will say I'm a proponent of higher salaries in the WNBA, so this is not my fault. I would pay more.
Oh, man, pay the teachers, save the whales. Let's talk Ohio State football before we have to restart this entire show because you're trying to get us canceled. This is your note. You wrote the initial start of the show. I have no idea what this was, so I figured you would just tell me about it on the show.
Yeah, I will. So they have a virtual first down system that they use in the NFL. Ron will know this. You know how the one works in the Premier League, right? Where they check your offsides and something like that. So we've always had a question of like, I don't know if these refs and these spots are exactly.
I just can't stop laughing. I can't believe you started a show like that. I can't.
Anyway. Oh God, this show's got to do numbers.
So no one's gonna watch this.
Oh man, great cool moment. Okay, so all right, so like obviously the first down system with the measuring and all that. So obviously Premier League Soccer has their one where they use VAR, video replay system, to help see people are all onside, offside, whatever. But that's soccer. So the NFL debuted a first down system where it's just virtual. The refs don't need to measure it. They can already tell you if it's first down or not. You don't have to worry about the ref. Like, okay, you put the chain way farther than it needed to be. So, Ron, my question was, do you want that in the college game? Do you think it would be more accurate?
Absolutely. Do I think it'd be more accurate than 3 random 50-year-old men carrying around chains trying to run at the pace of Division I athletes so they can get the ball spotted? Do I think it would be more accurate? Yes. Like I am a proponent of getting rid of all of these antiquated people in sports. Get rid of umpires, get rid of the chain gang, get rid of all of it, get rid of judges in tennis. Like, we don't need you.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, with the AI system and the way it can work, it's like, I mean, why are we doing so many errors? Like, these missed calls are egregious when you don't have to have them. So I agree there. Another note I have for you, this was actually pretty funny. We talked about Ohio State recruiting and NIL and all that stuff because we know it's your favorite subject. I just thought this was a funny note. So front office sports put an article, they put a link on Instagram where they said how Ohio State rebuilt NIL revenue sharing for the new era. And all the comments were like, they need to go back to what they were doing before. We don't think this is working. So it's kind of funny that they put that. But yeah, that's the notes I had. But we got to get to the Heisman odds.
Yeah, we have Heisman odds. And it's just so funny because this list is drastically different than the one that we saw last week. We have a new entrant at number 1 in John Mateer. Tommy Castellanos, your guy at Florida State at number 2. I actually don't hate that one. I hate to see that our guy Haynes King missed this last week, or I'm sure he would be higher up on this list dealing with a nagging injury. Garrett Nussmeier at 3. I don't know how. Caleb Downs still at 7. I think he moved up 1 spot. I don't like Dante Moore all the way down at 8. He's absolutely balling out. Ruben Bain, I mean, we're not giving it to a defensive end, but I mean, I guess. Looking at this list, I'm still confused why Lenore Sellers is on here. I feel like that's one of the laziest takes to just continue to keep putting him on there. I saw a lot of Utah fans complaining that Devin Dampier should be higher. I mean, I will be 1,000% honest. I have not watched a single snap of Utah this season.
Well, we do know they have balled out. First question I will ask you, where should Dante Moore, your number one player, be on this list?
As many of you know who have tuned into this, Dante Moore, the number one overall player in the Ron 3 2023 high school rankings. I thought he was the best player in the class coming out that year, and he's been absolutely hooping at Oregon. I'm going to have to eat crow because I, questioned why people were comparing Decorian Moore to JJ, and while I still don't think he should be, you saw him flash for the first time this season. He got a rushing touchdown. He had a big catch, got him involved in the offense. Dante Moore, and then went out there and smacked the hell out of Oklahoma State. We're going to talk about that later. But I mean, looking all of the part of the Ron 3 5-star that I thought he would be, and I think he should be much higher on this list. I would have Dante Moore in my top 5. Oregon, it seems like a surging team, and it's looking like potentially 4 of the best teams in the country reside in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, so far what I've seen from Dante Moore, I mean, obviously Carson Beck had a tougher game against Notre Dame, so I'm not going to slight him, but I feel like Dante Moore should be in that top 5 somewhere, probably bumping him out down to 6. But, yeah, I mean, he's looked good so far, and Decorian Moore had a good game against Oklahoma State, so they're not exactly the heap of competition. They need to spend some more money, but we'll get into that later. But, yeah, I mean, so far the list, I mean, I think the one glaring thing is no Julian Sayin, no Jeremiah Smith. That's where I gotta ask it, because like where are they at?
Honestly, this is a lazy list. I mean, Caleb Downs does get the interception, so he's on there. I don't think Julian Sayin's getting the credit that he deserves for the performance that he had because of the opponent. So, I mean, the level of competition is going to step up this week a bit. We'll talk about that later in the show as well. I think given the drops early on, I think a lot of people were excited to write off JJ and say, oh, wow, we jumped the gun on crowning him the greatest ever. And then he goes back out and shows why he's a cheat code. And it was like, all right, we got to shut him down. It's not fair to have him out there. So, I mean, I think my favorite thing about the college football season is everything is in due time. Like, you're going to see all of the people that deserve to be at the top of this Heisman ranking eventually be there. It's funny to look at these lists each week and see how they evolve, because you just watch people continue to drop like flies. And it's like the people in spaces, everyone's super loud at the beginning of the season because it's like anybody could be whoever you want them to be. And then they have to play football. And each week these people have to continue to play football, and it's eventually going to shake its way out. And before you know it, you're going to see more Buckeyes on this list. I think you're going to see Jeremiah Smith on this list by next week or the following week, as well as Julian Sayin, and we're going to talk about him later in the show as well. It's just I'm trying my best to contain the excitement about Julian Sayin, but like I want to get out here and lie, and it's early in the season.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I mean, obviously, the audacity to put Bain and Downs on this list, like they don't have to have 10 touchdowns to even be in the top 5 by the end of the year, is bold. But I'm with you. I mean, Julian Sayin has balled out. So while he's not on this list, he did win Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Now, he did not make the Pro Football Focus list, which I was a little upset with. But I'm like, what do you need to do to make that list? If you start out, 15 for 15, I mean, you're pretty close. I don't know how else you can up your Pro Football Focus grade, but I thought he balled out. So we'll go there. Big Ten Freshman of the Week. My question for you is, by the end of the season, Julian Sayin will rank what in the Heisman voting? If you had to predict right now, you say top 7, top 6, like when the final votes come out, if Julian keeps up this pace, where do you expect him to be?
I mean, if he keeps up this pace, he's absolutely going to be a Heisman finalist. The only thing that would stop it would be Ohio State fatigue and them not wanting to send 3 Buckeyes to New York. I mean, I would imagine I think it's all dependent on him being able to keep up this pace, but I don't see any way that he goes and is only having 1 incompletion per game.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I think he's playing really
What kind of
well.
question is that? You think if he only has 9 more incompletions this season, he makes it to New York? Yeah, I do. I do.
If he keeps at this pace, where's he at the end of the season? NFL
30,
MVP?
35 touchdowns and 9 incompletions.
NFL All-Pro?
Oh, but you wouldn't if it's 9 interception. If it's an interception every game, you wouldn't love to see that.
Yeah, we'll mark down that part. But one other guy I want to talk about, not on the Heisman list, but a guy you were a fan of, and one that's from Ohio, Chaz Coleman, absolutely balled out this weekend while he did not win Big Ten. Is there a defensive Big Ten freshman of the year?
The Chazmanian Devil.
Yeah. So
that's what they call him. Don't look at me like that was a bad joke. That's his name.
I had no beef with it. It's not my team. You can name whatever you want. So Chaz Coleman, 1 sack, 5 QB pressures, and a 50% pass rush win rate. Ron, I want to ask you, how big of a miss do you think that's going to be when we look in 3 years of Chaz Coleman's career at Penn State?
That's a PA kid, right?
No, he's an Ohio kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see. We've done multiple episodes talking about how Zion, Grady, and Epe Satonale are gonna be the next guys up. I don't think he would be playing over. I mean, do you think he would be playing right now at Ohio State?
Yeah, I think he would. I think the pass, and I wanted to jump on this yesterday and we didn't. I think the defensive line pass rush is maybe the one part of this defense that's lacking a bit. I mean, the only person with a sack right now is Arvell Reese. There's nobody else registered with a sack, I do believe. So, I mean, and obviously we talked about it. You said, I forget your friend's name, who's the Penn State fan, said that was his favorite prospect. Yeah, it was his favorite prospect in the class that they brought in. That was the one guy he was like, we can't lose him. I don't care what Ohio State offers. We have to keep him. So, I mean, I think definitely Ohio State, the last couple of class, probably since the Kenyatta Jackson class, has been missing. Obviously, we got Zion Grady and Epe Satonale, but they're freshmen. In that little gap here, they have been missing some elite pass rushing edges, or the guys they brought in we haven't seen. So I think Chaz Coleman would be playing at some point right now on Ohio State's team.
Yeah, and I mean, Q, we've done this episode multiple times, and I'm kind of down to do it again. And I have a rule that at this point, the level of talent in the state of Ohio is worth taking the top 10 kids, period. Take them, and whatever happens. Top 10 kids in Ohio this past year: Tavian St. Clair, Trey McNutt, Justin Hill, Carter Lowe, Ryan Montgomery, Bo Jackson, Marquise Davis, Bogpin Miller, Chaz Coleman, and then Sean Terry, who's at Missouri. And then you continue to go down the list: Brody Lennon at 11, a Buckeye; Jake Cook, 16, a Buckeye; Cody Haddad, 19, a Buckeye; Eli Lee, 23, a Buckeye. I don't think you can go wrong flat out saying, we're going to take the top 10 kids in Ohio every year. Give me all of them. Let's go back a single year to 2024. Navigating to the state rankings. I think this Chaz Coleman just falls into that category of you look at 2024, Aaron Scott, Bryce West, Jordan Marshall, Brian Robinson, the D lineman at Kentucky, Gronk at Penn State, the quarterback, Cole Beasley at Purdue, Garrett Stover, 7, Dominic Kirks, 8, Terry and Nichols, the cornerback at Kentucky, and then Reggie Powers, the safety at Oklahoma. All borderline, all takes, not borderline, a few of them. At that point, the hit rate is so high on the top 10. Why not? Why not take them all?
No, I mean, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, you think about it, especially with the increase in scholarships. I mean, you're looking at what now? 105 scholarships over presentation. That's an extra 20. So I mean, you could. It's definitely we're in the portal. If guys don't play, they're just gonna leave, which is fine. That's natural attrition. So I don't see. I mean, shoot, you talk about 10. I can push it to 12 just by the names you write off that list and feel very comfortable with it. So I'm with you. You got to take those guys. I mean, we will see if it comes to bite them in the back, but I mean, Chaz Coleman, Justin Hill were two guys that were elite pass rushers when you were like, we're about to lose the same pass rusher we had the last 4 years. You want to get both of them, you got neither of them. So we will see if that comes back to hunt them. Hopefully Zion Grady and Evie Stanley are dudes, and then you won't have to worry about it. But it'd be nice to have those guys on the roster.
Yeah, I just want to do this one more time. You look at the class of 2023: Malik Hartford, Luke Montgomery, Jermaine Matthews, Will Smith Jr. Noticing a trend here at number 5, Arvell Reeves, the first 5, all Buckeyes. Ben Minich, safety at Notre Dame. Nigel Glover, committed to Northwestern, now Buckeye. Trevor Carter, a linebacker that is at Cincinnati. Cam Calhoun, he's been at Michigan, Utah, now at Alabama. Brendan Vernon, the D end at Notre Dame. And then you have Josh Padilla at 11. You continue to go down the list. Austin Serveld at 16. The hit rate in the state of Ohio is ridiculously high. And the one thing that you do have to give the Buckeyes credit for, they've reached past that number 10, and we've now gone through 3 classes and found multiple starters past the top 10 ranked players in Ohio. So you do have to give the staff credit. They are doing their homework in their backyard and having an extremely high hit rate. I mean, you go through that class, they do grab the first 5 guys in Ohio, but I mean, it just shows you the talent that is up here and the amount of people. I mean, if the Buckeyes were to get the top 10 players in their state and do the Miami saying and put up a border around the state of Ohio, think about the talent that you'd be getting because of the hit rate. And you see guys like Chaz Coleman end up at Penn State and they're raving about him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you put me on the Chaz Coleman late, and as soon as I watched this film, I was like, what? Like, we don't have to give off this guy yet? Okay. Well, what do I know? I just was the guy who discovered Kenneth Grant for a first round pick, but it is what it is. So
covered Kenneth Grant is crazy.
But yeah, no, I agree. But we'll see what he does coming up. He's had a good game, but there was a lot of games this weekend in week 2. So Ron, let's jump into that. But before you do that, go ahead and like that video, hit that sub button. We're here Monday through Friday at Dead Air Sports. So tell a friend.
Can you hear that airplane?
No.
Okay. There's just a plane going by, and I normally don't record the show with my window open, and I can hear it even though we're doing the show. So I'm like, oh, do I need to close that window? But apparently not. Tons of games this past weekend to talk about, and we will jump right into it. We talked about the Heisman odds earlier in one Dante Moore. We're going to be talking about ranking the top quarterbacks in the Big Ten a little bit later in the show, but I did want to talk about Oregon's dominant performance. How impressed were you by them going out there and beating on Oklahoma State like that, man? Mike Gundy is 40 and a man, and they still did that to him.
Yeah, clearly they need to spend some more money and stop saving and making excuses because it got really ugly. I mean, I remember, and this is the crazy part, I remember Oklahoma State having money. Like, I don't know what happened, but they had some of the nicest facilities in the country for football and basketball. I don't know if they're
Ohio State took their defensive coordinator and their soul.
Yeah, but I just remember, I think they're big
been the same since they lost Jim Knowles.
Apparently. I remember that I think their big booster had passed away, but I mean, it's Oklahoma State. I mean, it's only Oklahoma State down there, so I'm sure they have some boosters. So yeah, they got to spend some more money. But I mean, Oregon obviously balled out. I mean, you don't get much better than 69-3. It was an absolute drubbing. I mean, you saw guys flash all over the field. It just it was brutal. It was brutal to watch. And obviously, Mike Gundy should shut up next time.
How impressed were you with the statement that they made? Do you think that says more about Oklahoma State or more about this Oregon team?
I mean, and we knew this, It says the talent is still there in Oregon, and we knew that coming off. It was just guys who were like now stepping into big roles. They didn't really bring receivers back, new quarterback, so players on defensive end had left too. So, I mean, you just seeing if Oregon can kind of repeat the success they had last year. I mean, I think it's a big year for Oregon. Obviously, they won the Big Ten, so that's certainly a mark. But to get bounced in the first game of the playoffs is not exactly where I think they thought they were going to end up if you took the poll of after they won the Big Ten championship. So it's a big season for them. Obviously, Penn State comes back. They were the number one team, supposedly, coming into the season in the Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State was there. They're the betting favorite. And now you have Oregon. Can they be consistent? I think that's the question. I mean, Michigan is not what we thought they were after that Oklahoma game. We'll talk about that a little later. But Oregon now is firmly in that top three. Can they try to win another Big Ten championship? They got a game coming up against Penn State. So we'll see if they can be consistent, because that's the thing. With these teams, you can get there once. Can you do a year in, year out? And that's what we talk about. That separates Ohio State's from the LSUs.
Absolutely. Ryan Day has a similar phrase. He talks about the difference between being a player and a pro, and a guy that can go out there and make plays sometimes versus a guy that's a pro that comes in and makes the plays consistently day in and day out. And it's the same thing about these programs. Like, are you here for a moment, or are you here for every season? And it feels like the Buckeyes have, it doesn't feel like, they absolutely have been the most successful program in the country as far as staying at the top there. Hugh, a lot of the top contenders looking mid this past weekend, if I do say so myself. Penn State 34-0 over FIU. I mean, it sounds good. Didn't look impressive to me. LSU 23-7 over Louisiana Tech. Georgia in a rock fight with Austin Peay 28-6. And then you see Miami handling business against Bethune-Cookman 45-3. I've been saying, man, if Miami is the fifth best team in the country, there's only four teams that can compete. And then you see those three have a mid-off this past week. Q, help me stay contained and not lose my mind and say we're going back to back. Like, I look around this college football landscape and I'm like, who gonna stop us? Who? Who's gonna do it? I think that Texas team, it feels like we played one of the best teams in the country, if not the second best team in the country. When I look around the college football landscape, you see Texas go out there and ball out the way they did. I mean, I know they played nobody state, but at least they look competent. Like, we saw that Arch Manning can indeed throw the ball.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Texas is going to be probably in the Final Four this season. If I had to guess right now, I think they'll be up there. Georgia, their offense worries me like it always does. I just don't know if they're going to be offensive challenged enough to get back to that Final Four. I mean, that was their against Notre Dame last year. They really got shut down on offense, and it was like, well, Notre Dame just scored enough to win. So I have my questions about Georgia. I mean, I think they're going to be there just because Kirby makes sure that defense is good and playing consistently. I think it's a year of like Penn State. You have all the opportunity in the world to try to get to the Natty. If you don't have to win the Natty, I know that's an impossible goal, but they have it on both ends, or they should. They haven't looked the part yet, but you look at that roster, you're like, okay, you should have enough to get over, especially with Notre Dame looking the way they are currently. LSU, they win with the most impressive week one game going to Clemson, and Clemson looks absolutely terrible in week two. I forget who they played, and that's a problem if they looked absolutely terrible in week two. So, I don't know if LSU is for real. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, Florida State, Miami have looked really good so far. I mean, not, give it to the HCC, but they've looked at least consistent. I mean, Texas is Texas. You know how talented they are, but I don't think there's anybody right now playing at the level Ohio State is through 2 weeks. I mean, I just don't – I don't see it. I mean, Oregon, they're a question mark. We'll see if they can be consistent, and that Penn State game will tell us a lot. But, I mean, it does feel like a very open path. And for the Big Ten teams of Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon, the path to the Final Four is there. I don't know if all three can make it, if they would see each other before that in a playoff bracket, but – I could right now, if you told me all three would make the Final Four, I'd believe it.
Absolutely. It feels like the best teams in the country reside in the Big Ten this year. It feels like, we'll get into, we talked about Oregon. It feels like Oregon might be the second best team in the country. We'll see what they look like as the level of competition ramps up. But I saw Penn State fans talking about it on the timeline. They're like, we don't look better than Oregon right now. And like, they match off in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It feels like Penn State's been sleepwalking through the front of their schedule.
Yeah, and I think the one thing you can rely on is I feel like Jim Knowles' defense is going to somewhat hold Oregon. I mean, at least by the last experience. I mean, we did go to Eugene and give up a lot of yards, but I feel like Jim Knowles at least will give them a chance to win on the defense side of the ball. So I think Drew Aller, who we're going to talk about quarterback rankings pretty soon here, is going to have to put his lunch pail on. He's going to have to put his hard hat on and go to work. So it's a big time game, man. I mean,
he puts his lunch pail on, he's gonna get smacked.
Hard hat, grab his lunch pail, but, you know. I'm better on my WNBA podcast, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now, if I ask you right now, Ron, gun to your head, who wins that game? Who are you picking?
Penn State or Oregon?
Yeah,
Oregon.
Well, there you have it. Oregon needs to step up and play better.
Yeah, I absolutely think Oregon's. Wait, what?
Yeah,
you mean Penn State?
I mean, Penn State needs to step up and play better. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, what? No, I picked Oregon.
No, don't play better. You play better than 69-3. We're in trouble.
Oh man, that's too funny. Michigan, a successful hate watch. Q.
Ooh.
How much of that did you actually watch?
No, I watched the game, man. I was disappointed. I don't know. So maybe I'll ask you. I don't know.
This man, he's disappointed. We're all Buckeye fans out here successfully having a Michigan hate watch, and this guy's over here worried about the fact that when we did our Big Ten schedule predictions, when I tried to talk this man out of picking Michigan over Oklahoma, I told him about John Mateer. Didn't want to listen. Would you like to repent?
No. I want to talk shame on the Red River rivalry and say, then this second tier rivalry y'all got down here, it ain't nothing. Now I can't do that because Oklahoma blasted Michigan and basically dominated the game. Yeah, I don't know if Oklahoma is Oklahoma a top 10 team. I mean, they looked good. I mean, I don't think Michigan's horrible. I don't think they played well, but I don't think they're terrible. Like, is Oklahoma underrated?
No, I mean, I think they're right where they're at. I believe in the latest AP poll, they jumped to 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I remember they were around.
So, I mean, yeah, they are in the top 10. So, okay. I mean, I think they're properly rated. I think they are a top 10 team in the country. And we're going to see how that alleged gauntlet of a schedule plays out in the SEC. But it feels like a lot of teams, aren't going to make it through conference play unscathed, and it's going to be exciting to see how that Oklahoma team performs in the SEC this season, especially with them getting a big signature win over the Big Ten this early.
Yeah, I think Mike needs to go ahead and book his tickets to the Red River rivalry because that looks like it's going to shape up to be a heck of a game with Oklahoma being.
They're at 13 right now.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma being back this season and not as bad as they've been the last couple. So, no, I think Michigan has some work to do. Like I said yesterday, I thought their offensive coordinating was some of the worst I've seen. I mean, they really hung Bryce Underwood out to dry and said, hey, we'll try to run the ball, and then if we don't, good luck. So, I mean, didn't do much there. So, yeah, I didn't expect Michigan to dominate like that. I expect their defense to be a little bit better, but, I mean, they got some work to do. I'd say definitely they're outside looking in right now.
Q, I took a tough L this past weekend. You know I'm a big fan of the Fighting Manny Diaz's, and Duke goes out and gets thumped by Illinois. It was a close game for a while. Darian Mensah, a fun quarterback to watch until he starts giving the ball to the other team. It was cool to see Illinois go out there and get the win for the Big Ten. You see the ACC feels to be significantly more competitive this season just by watching that game. Illinois, a very good team, led by a very good quarterback that we'll also be talking about later. I was glad to see the Big Ten get the win. Disappointed for my Fighting Manny Diaz's. I think they're going to bounce back. And again, I feel like that Duke team fits exactly what I'm describing about the disruptors in this playoff race, because that Duke team could pop somebody. And I feel like they could get in the way of a Clemson, a Florida State, or a Miami. I'm not familiar with all three of their schedules. I know they're going to bump into one of them. So it'll be interesting to see where that Duke team goes. Not quite ready to get it done against that Brett Bielema-led team, but overall, I thought it was an impressive performance, and I think this Duke team is going to get better by the end of the season.
Yeah, we talked about in the preseason. I mean, Duke spent $4 million on their quarterback, so they're willing to invest in football. It looks like, and they, I mean, Illinois gives me that Michigan State feeling back when we used to beef Michigan State all the time down in the 2010s. I mean, they're going to come in there, play
That's
good
a great
defense.
shout.
Yeah, you talk Luke Altmaier. I mean, we'll rank him on our quarterback rankings a little bit later, but I mean, he's solid. He's off to a solid performance this season. So you feel like that's that good, not great team, but that good team that's a true test. And obviously, we have them on our schedule. So I'm interested to see how Illinois plays because they're going to have some big games coming up. I mean, could they be last year's Indiana? Could they find a way to sneak in? I mean, we talk Michigan being down. We got Oregon. We got Penn State. And we got Ohio State. Could they make a playoff run and just sneak in? I mean, we'll see. They're going to win some big games, but that's the feeling I have right now. I'm like, damn, it feels like Michigan State just a few years ago when they were actually competent.
I wanted to circle back on Duke one last thing. I was listening to the Cover 3 podcast, and they're like, yeah, you hear a lot of people out there saying that, that was a competitive game. And then you look at the score and it's like, they lost by 26. Like, yeah, it was a good game for a little bit. And then they just completely unraveled. I'm like, but yeah, you see the potential there. Like, I am in that category of like, they lost by 26, but I see it. It's there. There's something there with this Duke team.
Luckily, you play in the ACC, so that's all you need. You just need a little spark, and you never know where a game is going to go because teams show up one week and don't show up the next. So, they got some hope. I mean, I'm glad to see Duke. They're spending all that money in basketball, and they're getting nothing for it. They need to spend it over in football and, try to get some
Watch your mouth. They hung an ACC championship banner post Coach K and a Final Four appearance. Watch your mouth.
Just throw some of that money over there.
So, anyways, pivoting, you talked about sparks and bouncing back. You saw Arch Manning look like the guy that everyone lied to us and said that he was. 295 yards, multiple touchdown passes. You see Alabama bounce back this week with a 73-0 stomping of UL Monroe. Q, what are you taking from both of these SEC bounce backs against Cupcakes?
I mean, they did what they should do. I'm not really worried about Texas. I think Texas will be fine. I mean, going to Ohio State was a tough thing for Arch Manning. I mean, with this schedule, if the SEC is as good as they say they are, we're really going to find out who he is, because if he is this inconsistent quarterback, if his fundamentals are lacking, he's not as good. Like, you're going to find out, because SEC teams, the one thing you can guarantee is they play defense. Like, they may be offensively challenged, but they play some defense. So I think we're going to find out. So I think Texas will be fine. I think people try to underrate them just because they lost to Ohio State. They want to discredit the Big Ten win. But I look for Texas going forward to have some big games. I mean, now you got Oklahoma, Georgia, those games I'm really looking at. Now Alabama, 73-0. I mean, you're not going to get much better than that. I have a lot of questions after week one. I mean, one thing I did not think I ever see Alabama's get out physical by a Florida State team, and it didn't matter like really who they played. I wouldn't expect them to get out physical. There's very few teams in the country that really should be able to do that to Alabama, especially with their blue chip ratio. So it's a week one loss.
They really went and imposed that Mike Norvell culture on them.
Yeah, they put it to them. They put hands on them. So, I mean, it's a week one loss. It's not the end of the world. But I mean, Alabama again has a tough schedule going forward. I want to see, like, I believe in Caleb DeBoer. I think he's good. He's got his OC back. So I mean, they got the staff. I don't know if they got the defense. We'll see if they can hold on to that. But the staff looks to be in place. I'm going to see it, and he's on the hot seat right now. So I don't know, Bama. It's going to be interesting to see if they lose again another 4 games. It's going to be hot down there in Alabama, and it's already hot, especially with the humidity.
I wanted to talk about an upset this weekend that has some relevance to the Buckeyes. OU, Ohio University, goes out and beats West Virginia 17-10, coming off a close loss to Rutgers the prior week by 3. Q, is this setting up for a decent matchup? I know the Buckeyes are a 30-point favorite according to the spread, but they're out here competing with Power 4 teams.
Yeah, shout out to the Bobcats, man. They want to go beat West Virginia, one of the great party schools around the country. Ron's almost alma mater and got it done.
Yeah.
So,
it was in the top 3. Hat was on the table.
Oh man, so I think I think it'll be a better game, dude. Out of this, 30-point spread tells you it's probably not going to be close, but you want that up in competition coming down from Texas. You wanted a break. You got that. You got a lot of young guys in. You're hoping to do that again this week. Maybe the win isn't as significant. Maybe you don't get as many guys in, but 3 running backs is better than 1. 4 wide receivers is better than 3. So hopefully get some guys in and a little challenge for Ohio State, because we got Washington coming up and they're 2-0. It's said it could be what you call a trap game out there. I'm a big fan of their quarterback, so we'll see what happens. But I like to watch this weekend and see if Ohio State continue to get better.
Yeah, Parker Navarro has rushed for over 160 yards on the season, 93 yards on the ground against Rutgers, and a touchdown, 87 in the win over West Virginia. It's going to be exciting to see how the Buckeyes choose to attack him and their ability to contain a quarterback that is mobile. We've seen that give the Buckeyes issues in the past, so it'll be interesting to see if and what the response to him looks like this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just like Ohio State is running right now to where I feel like I look at these games and I'm like, oh, this could be a step up. And then part of me feels like, hey, this isn't going to be close. It's just like they're just running at an all-time high right now. It's hard to see. I'm just trying to stay neutral like you. I'm not trying to hype the team up too much. I'm just trying to ride the wave. But, we'll learn some more about Ohio State this weekend. And we'll learn if they continue the streak.
This one's close to your heart, Q. I'll let you take it away.
ASU goes on the road to Mississippi State, gets absolutely obliterated, down 17-0 in the first half, makes a comeback. But I expected a lot from ASU this year. It was, again, we asked the question, can you be consistent? Mississippi State was terrible last season. They were not very good. So, and I looked at the throwing options for Arizona State. I'm like, they got one guy, and I don't even know him that well. And truly, they had one guy. They took him out the game, and it was pretty much all she wrote for the ASU passing game. So they got to play a little better. I think I am going to go to the ASU West Virginia game, which West Virginia lost to Ohio. So not really much hype on that one, but I do want to go see them play in person. But
Battle of the baddies there.
Hopefully ASU can bounce back. Utah looks like an absolute monster right now, so I don't know if anybody's playing with them in the Big 12. But yeah, it was. I picked that game wrong. I was like, oh yeah, ASU's gonna go get her win on the road, the SEC, where anything happens, and I can talk trash. And yeah, I'm quiet right now.
Another big upset that was probably the talk of the entire weekend. USF goes to the Swamp and upsets Florida, a team that I talked about being one of the most intriguing teams to keep an eye on as a potential playoff candidate. And then they go out there and make me look like a big dummy. I've been a Lagway defender for the longest time. I was very high on him until I realized he's not better than my quarterback. Q, what are your thoughts after an early season loss for the Gators, for a team that had high expectations? We knew the schedule was difficult, but when people looked at that Gators schedule, they didn't say, oh, man, this thing's difficult. They have LIU week 1 and Southern Florida week 2. I don't think that was one of the games they were accounting for in the difficulty. And I said, I tweeted, I'm about to have to go scrub my timeline because I made that graphic of the Florida State over under, and I've been telling people for months the lock of the year is Florida over 6.5, and now I'm like, delete.
It is definitely in question. Yeah, USF has been the kind of the team on the rise early in the season with that win against Boise State and then Florida. So are they for real? We will talk about that in a minute. But Florida has been a disappointment, and you look at their schedule, you're like, man, if you didn't beat South Florida, I hate to tell you, this schedule don't get no easier. You got Miami coming up, the SEC gauntlet that they go down. As long as all those teams are what we actually believe they are, it's like, yeah, you might. I don't know, man. It's not only that, it's the way Florida closed that game. And I look at Billy Napier and I'm like, dude, can you coach? Like, can you do something?
Apparently not. Well, here, two interesting pieces have come out about the University of Florida. One, Billy has confirmed he is not giving up play calling. Bad idea. Two, they've also confirmed that Billy Napier is their guy and they're sticking with him. Bad idea.
Billy Napier was already on the fringe. I mean, people weren't happy with him. Last year, they came out, and when Lagway stepped into the spotlight, they played pretty well. They didn't win a lot of games, but they kept games close. And you're like, okay, if you were able to maximize that and like do a little better, maybe you'll get 9 wins, like you were saying. Maybe you'll beat that 6 and be up there to where you're 75% in the SEC coming off where Florida was. You're like, you'll take that. Now it's like, if you're losing to South Florida, like, it might be time to can this project and start over. Like, how long till
they can't get rid of Lagway, though? That's the thing. Billy Napier bought himself at least 3 years there by having DJ Lagway, and that's his guy. But like at this point, like, just lost to South Florida. Like, is it that big of a deal? Like, you're losing with him.
I mean, they're making us think Lagway sucks. Like, we know he doesn't. I'm like, he looks worse than last year. So far, it's like, man,
I need to get the terrorist memes lined up.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what kind of coaching they're doing in practice, but that offseason development, I mean, Lagway did not look good. If he didn't look good against South Florida, he'll look like it's some of these SEC defenses. So, yeah, Billy Napier's got to change something. You can't do the same thing and get the same result, and people are going to be okay with it. If it's giving up play calling or bringing another guy to help you out, or at least have somebody else call a 2-minute drill when you're trying to close out the game at least, because that was horrible. Let me pass on first down, incompletion. Now I'm second and long. Oh, now I'll try to run. Now I got to pass again to try to get this first down. Now I punt back and we lost. So it was just it was a horrific showing. Yeah, I don't think Billy Napier lasts another 2 years at Florida. I'm gonna be honest. Lagway or not. If that's what he's doing
for this Florida program, and Billy's out here making me look like Boo Boo the Fool.
If that's what he's doing, I'm selling hard.
Well, UF again, because apparently, like, they talk about a super conference. How about the fucking college football league that only plays in the state of Florida from August to November? USF goes to Miami next weekend. Q, predictions for this game. Can USF get 3 straight ranked wins and prove that they are the best team in this? Maybe second best team. Your Knowles will probably have something to say about that. But can they knock off 3 straight ranked teams? Are you buying the Alex Golish hype?
I mean, I am buying the Alex Golish hype. I mean, watching Florida on Saturday. South Florida on Saturday. Outside of that dumbass penalty that almost cost them the game, leading up to Florida's go-ahead score before the field goal. I mean, they were playing really well. I mean, I think the question against Miami is, can they score enough points? I mean, you look at that Florida defense, and they only really put up 18 to win. So, I mean, they didn't light it up like they did against Boise State. So you might see a little more, but their quarterback's really good. I like their offense. I mean, they're finding ways to win, and they're not going to lose the game. And I think that's the question. Like, can Miami go win the game? Because South Florida's not going to lose it. And I think Alex Golish has his team playing really well. So, I mean, I would have said this about Florida, but I think Miami has a little bit too much talent. I mean, look at that defensive line, and you're like, yeah, I mean, those guys are really moving. So we will see. But if they can find a way to get that win, I'm all in on South Florida. I'll get a jersey.
You look at Miami's defensive line and say, man, those guys are really moving. I look at their defensive line and say, man, I remember when we recruited him.
We couldn't afford the 2 players that are now starting on the defensive line. We can only afford 1, and we got none.
Crazy how that works.
Conversation for another day.
Yeah, before we go down the recruiting rabbit hole, I want to grab the wheel and steer far away from that. Q, I wanted to pivot to the main topic of the day. You see the cover graphic, our guy Julian Sayin on there. I wanted to look at the preseason quarterback rankings in the Big Ten and then give our rankings through week 2. And I think some of these are kind of funny when you take a look at them, given the performances that we've seen out of one Nico Iamaleava at number 4. And I think he would have probably been high in my rankings in the preseason. We might have done a preseason episode where we gave our rankings, and to see the performances that Nico has put on tape these past couple of years, I mean, is this one of the biggest fumbles in the history of sports?
Yeah, man. I mean, when Nico came to UCLA, we started talking about it. We're like, the question was, I'm like, Ron, who's he throwing to? Now I'm looking to UCLA receivers like, well, who's throwing them the ball? Like he has not looked good at all. And yeah, I mean, you're talking about Nico was what? You thought another year at Tennessee. He's probably a top 2-round pick at worst. I mean, all the measurables are there. You know, the NFL loves that stuff. And playing in that Tennessee offense, you knew he was going to put up points just like the current Tennessee quarterback is doing. Like he's playing UCLA. So you knew he was going to look at least somewhat solid. I mean, he goes to UCLA for $2 million. I mean, I have a hard time believing that he didn't get at least some more money than he was already making. But even if he made $2 million more at UCLA than he would have made at Tennessee this season, was it worth the guaranteed 10, 15 million he could have made in the NFL if he had another good year? Not even close. He might be back for a 4th year. Like,
is this the Quinn Ewers? Is this Quinn Ewers 2.0?
I mean, I don't know. I never thought Quinn Ewers was that bad. I mean, Nico looks terrible right now.
Yeah, but Quinn is, I mean, at this rate, the way Nico looks, he'll be lucky to be a 7th rounder. Quinn was a 7th rounder. It's like, why don't you just, maybe the grass isn't always greener.
No, and I mean, at least
quarterbacks.
I mean, but at least Quinn went to Texas. I mean, you look at Texas, you're like, okay, we got Sark here. We know they're going to spend money, get some receivers. Like, you have a chance to be successful. He had no chance to be successful going to UCLA. We talked about this. They were not a good football team. Chip Kelly was the head coach and left for offensive coordinator role. That should tell you something.
He said, get me the hell out of here.
I'll take a demotion just to leave. Like, that should tell you something. They're not quite invested in the program yet. I mean, we've asked this question, where does these $40 and $50 million checks go? Because it's not going to the football team. But again, they got a young coach. They might turn it around, but this was money time for Nico. Like, go to Miami, go to Florida State, go to go to Texas Tech, go somewhere where at least you could have some success and look good. Going to UCLA, just I guess to get back in Cali, like Nico couldn't work his way to USC at least. Like, be for real.
Yeah, man. I mean, probably not. And you mentioned USC. I thought about sneaking their quarterback onto my list and bumping out my number 5. Q, do you want to start with your 5th best quarterback? Because that's why we have this graphic on the screen. Through 2 weeks, we are going to give we're going to call them our Big Ten quarterback power rankings because they can obviously be fluid throughout the season.
Yeah, so I hate for this one, but my power ranking right now at number 5 is the number 1 guy on this list is Drew Aller. I have a number 5 right now at Penn State. Hasn't looked great. I expected more from him early in the season. He supposedly has receivers now, so we will see what happens when they play Oregon if they can turn up. But right now, I mean, Drew Aller is fighting to be in the top 5 of the Big Ten right now, and I think it's probably maybe one of the bigger disappointments through 2 weeks. He hasn't been terrible, but I bet Drew Aller to really come out and light it up, especially they haven't played anybody yet. So, I mean, he has not done it. He's played okay. So right now I have Drew Aller at number 5 on my QB power rankings.
Yeah, you look at his stats on the season, 417 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I had Drew Aller at number 5, and you know what? You convinced me. I'm knocking him out. I am going to put Jaden Mayava, junior quarterback at USC, as my number 5 quarterback in my Big Ten power rankings right now. 707 yards, 6 touchdowns so far this season. USC, probably the most criminally underranked team in the country. Yeah, they haven't played anyone yet, but like they're undefeated and they're a Big Ten team. There's teams with losses that are ranked right now. I think USC has an argument to at least be in the top 25. You like what you see out of Maiyava. 2 touchdowns in the opener, 4 in the last game. I'm looking at who they played. Both 4-letter acronyms that Missouri State and Georgia Southern. Nothing to, you know what I mean? I wouldn't bet the barn on them, but to see those statistics early on, that's what you expected out of Drew Aller in these early games, given the experience and the hype coming into the season, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think the mark right now, looking across the Big Ten quarterbacks that we have on our list, I mean, you want to be around 6 touchdowns and at a over 70% completion percentage, or at least close to that. I mean, Drew Aller right now with 3 touchdowns. I got the stats right here. 3 touchdowns right now, 69.5% completion percentage. Not the best. I mean, he had a 57.6% against Florida International. Like, yeah, be for real. So you should go out there and light them up. Like, these are the time you should look good. So when you got to play those better defenses, your stats look better. Well, not quite doing that. Being under
respect 70. The Fighting Pitbulls.
Yeah, them in St. Mary's School of the Blind. So you're always got to step up and play better, man. If Penn State is going to be what Penn State has talked about in the preseason, he's got to play at a first-round level, and right now he's just not doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I wouldn't say he's not playing at a first-round level because, I mean, as long as he remains to be 6'5", 235 pounds and throw the ball hard, I think he's going to be a first-rounder regardless of how he plays. But I'm right there with you, and that's why I felt comfortable bumping him off this list, and I'm going to feel like a big goofy if Jaden Maiyava goes out there and looks like crap the first time he plays a real defense. But right now, I'm riding with Lincoln Riley over what I've seen out of Drew Aller. Q, who is your number 4 quarterback in the Big Ten in your current power rankings?
So we talked about this team earlier in the state of Illinois. He's number 2 on this list, but Luke Altmaier is my number 4 right now. I think he's playing really well. He got 6 touchdowns, 75% completion percentage through the games and no interceptions. I mean, again, Illinois looks pretty solid, and I called them the Michigan Sabre before, but you know, there wasn't many Luke Altmaiers at Michigan State. So they look good right now. I think Luke Altmaier is playing pretty well. Again, he go out there against Duke, who we had some concerns. We called it a trap game. He said, not on my watch. So we'll see what happens when they get into Big Ten play and if he can get a couple of these wins. But I think right now he looks good.
Yeah, for number 4 for me, I have the guy that is at 6 on the preseason rankings in Dylan Raiola, a guy that I have been high on since he was in high school and at one point committed to the Buckeyes, has the frame that you want to see from an NFL quarterback, an absolute cannon of an arm, 607 yards, 6 touchdowns through the first 2 games of the season, 78% completion percentage. I feel like you're starting to see the step from Dylan Raiola. You may not see the full potential this year, but I mean, as a prospect, I think he's one of the best people on this list. But I do think he gives Nebraska a chance this season, and it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do against that Michigan defense after we just saw what John Mateer was able to do to it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree so much. I put him at number 3. he's number 3 on my list. All the stats you just said. I mean, I think we all know Cincinnati, while not the most talented, is always a pretty solid team. So we know they're going to play good ball. Got a couple of Buckeyes over there, but I think Dylan Raiola. I mean, look at stats right now. They look good. I mean, again, the people in their wheelchair haven't quite got up yet, but he's working his way up there. So. We'll
very ableist podcast of you, Q.
So the crazy
made fun of the school of the blind now and people in wheelchairs. Can we not get canceled before the show's over?
I'm just saying. They're out there making fireworks. That's what I was promised in the preseason. So I think Dylan Raiola looks good. Can you get him enough help for them to win the Big Ten in year 3? We will see. But yeah, they got another year to figure it out before that. But yeah, I think Dylan Raiola right now is playing at a good level.
Yeah, number 3, I have I'm a little bit higher on Luke Altmaier than you. I think that win over Duke is probably the most impressive out of the 3, probably the most impressive win by any of the 3 quarterbacks that we've named so far. That's why I have Luke Altmaier at number 3. I mean, we went over the stats: 6 touchdowns, 513 yards, absolute baller against Duke and carried that team, and he was the reason why they won that game. So that's a guy, an experienced guy. I was listening again. Cover 3, one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis, and they were talking about the fact that, hey, having an old quarterback isn't as common in college football as it was before when everybody was just old as fuck because of COVID. Like, Luke Altmaier is one of those guys that is, hey, not many teams have an older, experienced quarterback, and I feel like that's underrated. And we've talked about it in years past, how it hasn't been the best quarterback in college football winning the national championship these past couple of years. It's been experienced guys that know how to win, and I think that's going to take Illinois far this year. Q, who's your number 2?
Yeah, before I go to number 2, I actually want to shout out an article I read earlier. It was in Front Office Sports talking about they talked about John Mateer versus Bryce Underwood, who might be on my list. I don't have high hopes, but yeah. It talked about that and just that thing of paying, a transfer quarterback who comes in with experience versus like chasing these 5 stars out of high school. And you saw how that worked out on Saturday for Michigan and Oklahoma. But yeah, it's a good point. Luke Altmaier has been around for a while, and obviously he brings experience, and that's what Illinois needs. They need somebody who's not crashing the ship. So he's doing a good job with that. Now at number 2, I have a guy Ron James will be very familiar with, Dante Moore, out there at Oregon. I mean, I think he looks really good right now. Have they played a soul? Not yet. I mean, I think Oklahoma State was very underwhelming. So, but Dante Moore looks good right now. I mean, he's at, I got a stats right here. 77% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, which is the mark right now. So he's obviously balling out. No interceptions. I mean, he's looking good. So we'll see how it goes when it gets into Big Ten play. But you can't ask much more from Dante Moore right now.
Yeah, questions about the amount of receiver talent around him, given the injury to Evan Stewart at the start of the year. You see Jeremiah McClellan put up 76 yards, a familiar name to Buckeye fans in their last matchup. DeCoria Moore, obviously, for the people that follow recruiting, very familiar with that name. I think Dante Moore is getting the opportunity to show the skill set that everybody saw him have in high school, and the reason why he was the number 1 player in the Round 3 rankings. And you're finally seeing that put on film, and it's been exciting to watch. I've made the joke multiple times that, like, each week I'm like that meme where you're looking at both buttons. I don't know which one to push. Do I want Dante Moore to win the Heisman, or do I want Oregon to go 6-6? And it's like, it feels like, given these rankings, Heisman is much more likely than 6-6 right now. So I also have Dante Moore at number 2, and Q, better not do anything goofy here at number 1.
I can't wait with Bryce Underwood's my number 1 quarterback. No, not quite. Maybe at another power rankings. I got Julian Sayin number 1, absolutely balling out right now, playing at extremely high level. I mean, Julian Sayin, we knew the hype coming in. We were like, hey, if we have a quarterback who could just get the ball to these receivers, we won't complain. Julian Sayin has done much more than that. I mean, obviously, the win against Texas, out of all these quarterbacks, the best win on the resume, and then absolutely comes out and balls last week again. Such a high completion percentage. He even throw it to the other team before it hits the ground. So happy about that. But no, he's balled through 2 weeks, and absolutely killing it. So yeah, I can't ask much more from Julian Sayin right now.
And I feel like he's played the least amount of football out of all the guys on this list. I mean, Dante Moore, we watched him start as a true freshman at UCLA. I feel like, as our guy Michael Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof. With Julian Sayin, I don't think he's scratched the surface of the player that he is going to be, and it's going to be so exciting to watch his progression throughout the year, especially with all the weapons he has around him. You see Carnell Tate is finally starting to get the respect that he deserves as possibly the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL draft this year. Jeremiah Smith, obviously, everybody knows who he is. And then this offensive line out there completely mauling people. If they're able to keep him clean, I don't see why he doesn't ball out. And we see your typical Ryan Day offensive output in the 30-plus touchdown range in the regular season.
Yeah, and scary enough, he's got another year still to play. So
another year. He has a full season. We've only seen 2 games.
Yeah,
he's got a whole career ahead of him.
He's got his whole career. So we were talking about if he plays at this level consistently, NFL MVP. Don't go much higher than how he's playing right now. So Sayin's absolutely balling. If he keeps doing that, Ohio State will be the presumptive favorite because there's really no one that can stop this team. The way they're playing defense, the way the offense is moved last week, and definitely with Brian Hartline saying, "Hell, forget it. I'm airing it out. I got these wide receivers out there that work so hard to recruit. I'm gonna get them the ball." So Ohio State's buzzing on all cylinders right now, and Julian Sayin is at the core of that.
Absolutely. I think you hit on everything there as far as why we're so high on Julian Sayin. And the sky's the limit for this guy. I'm really excited to see what the coming weeks look like. I'm sick of these cupcake games. I'm glad we're playing a team like Ohio that's going to be a little bit of a step up in competition. You know what I mean? We steamroll that cupcake in Texas week 1.
Texas. I'm going to see Ohio. It's better football up here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sick of that soft SEC football. That down south football. We play a real team up north in Ohio this week for a real challenge. So I'm excited for that to see how Julian Sayin does there. Q, I had one final question before we get out of here because I've been thinking about this a lot these past couple days, especially given the current landscape of college football. And I wanted to ask, do you feel like the expanded playoff has changed Ryan Day? Because we have seen such an increase in playing time from the younger guys. Because even in years past, when we played these cupcake games, it's like, when are we going to see more people play? Can we get more people on the field? Can we get them reps? And then the other thing, the cross training on the offensive line, they saw how important the depth was there going in the last year. You've heard in years past people complain about Ohio State practices not being physical enough, or them not practicing enough, or them not tackling enough and practicing. I was in a Michigan space. They're complaining about how the hell did their star tight end end up getting hurt so bad in practice that he's missing a game against Oklahoma. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, I understand being physical, but Ryan Day talks on a regular basis about knowing how to practice like a pro. We've heard countless stories of guys getting thrown out of practice because they don't know how to practice like a pro, because at the end of the day, everybody needs to be healthy. It seems like Ryan Day is ahead of the curve in college football when it comes to the developing his young players, playing his depth throughout the season, and making sure that guys get rest, and understanding how this could potentially end up being a 17-game season. What are your thoughts on the transformation that Ryan Day has made around the program in the last just 2 years alone since the expanded playoff, and his understanding of how long the season becomes when you're truly competing for a national championship year in and year out?
Yeah, I think you see it around. I think Ryan Day has gotten a lot better. I wouldn't have said ahead of the curve, because it felt like he needed to do some catching up, but I think he's right at the mark right now where he should be.
Who would you say was ahead of him?
Obviously, when we talked about young players playing and playing depth, we talked about the other day. I pulled the stat from the SEC the other day where Alabama, back when Nick Saban was there, in Georgia with Kirby Smart, would get guys on the field and absolutely have them playing early and often. And then by the time we played them in the semifinal, it was like, okay, those freshmen who are extremely talented were ready to go and make an impact in that game that we should have won. But, it's another conversation. So you felt like around college football, teams would rotate depth. I don't know why.
To be fair, Sonny did play in that game as a true freshman.
Did, and weren't you shocked? Yes,
beyond
you were.
Surprise.
You're like, what?
Is that who I think it is?
Yeah. Are you sure you're supposed to be in here? So it's been a learning curve. You're starting to see it. I think Matt Patricia has something to do with that. Obviously, you talked about turning into an organization and practicing like a pro. When you have pro coaches in the building, that definitely helps. And he's running the defense, so you see freshmen get into the game and Devin Sanchez and Jarquez Carter playing on the last drive of the Texas game. You could, I wouldn't have bet $1 against $1 million that was going to happen. I'm like, that's a waste of $1. I would have never seen that coming. So, Obviously, he's getting better. He's rotating. I would like to see on the offensive side a little more rotation at receiver. Again, it's a long season. I don't need Brandon Ennis, Cardinal Tate, and JJ playing 100 snaps, if not possible. I want them to rotate a little more, but we'll see when they get into bigger games. But I like a solid rotation. And again, we're better than everybody we step on the field against. So play the depth.
I do want to stick there with the wide receivers. It wasn't in the show notes, but this wide receiver conversation exhausts me. Because, okay, if you're going to make the argument that for all the people that are unhappy with the production from Brandon Ennis thus far, can you at least be familiar with the depth chart? If they take Brandon Ennis off the field, Q, who's coming onto the field?
Bryson Rodgers, not Mylan Graham.
I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that they're not taking Carnell Tate off the field to put Mylan Graham on the field, and they don't rep him at the slot. So unless something fundamentally changes, or they've secretly been teaching Mylan Graham the playbook from slot, I know they're cross-trained at multiple positions, but how much talk have you heard about Mylan Graham in the slot in his entirety at Ohio State?
Not much. I mean, we've said he's an X from the time he got here. He's an X receiver. I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, I would like,
he's currently playing Z right now. Like Quincy Porter is the backup X right now. Mylan Graham has been a Z his entire time that he's been at Ohio State, and Bryson Rodgers has been neck and neck with Brandon Ennis at the slot position. So please, if we're going to have this conversation, can we at least start it on the right foot? Because it's like, we got to find ways to get Mylan Graham on the field. How are they going to do it? When are they going to do it? You guys taking Carnell? We've talked multiple times this week. We need to get Carnell Tate more touches. Like, all right, well, for the first step we're going to do is take him off the field. So what?
Mylan Graham can play. Well, I mean, I hate to tell people, Brandon Ennis is better than Mylan Graham right now at playing receiver. Like he just is. I mean, you look back at that, the Grambling State game. I mean, Brandon Ennis was getting the ball and he was getting open. Like he didn't have the touchdowns that Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate had, but he just didn't have the big pop play. But you could see it. He got the ball 4 or 5 times and looked good when he did. So I don't see the complaints about it. I would love for Mylan Graham to play more. I love for Bryson Rodgers to play more. I would love to see Quincy Porter get a pass out there. At some point, I would love a solid rotation, but I don't think there's any complaints with Brandon Ennis. I mean, you would have more beef right there with you. Player. I said you have more beef right now.
Honestly,
yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. And my thing is, I agree. I think there is enough talent with what we've seen from Bryson Rodgers and Mylan Graham that it is shown that those guys need to see the field. For the people that think that Mylan's going to come on and play, it would take a shuffling that we have yet to see from Ohio State in this receiver room when they've been telling us, we play Mylan at Z, we play Bryson. Like, when have you seen Mylan in with an X and Z at the same time and they have Mylan in the slot? And let me know in the comments if I'm wrong and I haven't missed it. I will let you know now. I have not watched all 22 of Saturday's game. So if I missed it on the TV copy and Mylan Graham was running in the slot, maybe that's a sign of things to come. But to my knowledge, I haven't seen it. When I looked at the box score, they did not have him listed. When I looked at the PFF snap counts, Mylan Graham, high snap counts of all of the wide receivers on Saturday. They did not have him listed at slot wide receiver at the position that he was repping at. So I don't know, Q. For the people that think that the Mylan Graham for Brandon Ennis is going to be just a 1-for-1 slot swap, I think you're far more likely to see Bryson Rodgers start to eat into Brandon Ennis's snaps more than Mylan Graham, personally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't see it either. So Mylan Graham does not play slot. Can you use him on a jet sweep? Sure, you could, but it's just not. He doesn't play slot. This is not his position, and he's not a better slot than Brandon Ennis. That's just the facts of it. Ask Heartline,
yeah.
They'll tell you.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. Like, and if he's not producing, I don't think that the Buckeyes will hesitate to pull the plug if they have to, as far as swapping out another receiver or letting Bryson Rodgers get those opportunities. But clearly they're going to have to earn them in practice and on the field. You liked what you saw out of Mylan Graham. You liked the flashes that you saw out of Bryson Rodgers. In my opinion, when you look at this wide receiver thing, it's not if we have a wide receiver at 3, it's who is it going to be? And I feel like that's a good issue to have, because I don't think you can go wrong with any of those 3 guys. It'll be interesting to see how it continues to play out. I don't think it's necessarily who is the slot wide receiver. I think the question going through the season is going to more likely be who is going to be the 3rd receiver in production, regardless of where they're coming onto the field, because maybe Mylan Graham does develop into a point where they're either moving Jeremiah Smith into the slot or they're moving Carnell Tate into the slot. We saw Marv get reps at the slot. We've seen Garrett Wilson play in the slot. We've watched every Buckeye wide receiver move around. So could it get to the point where they have packages that they're moving, the top 2 guys around in a way that gets Mylan Graham on the field? Do they start repping Mylan Graham in the slot because they feel like he provides an extra spark? Maybe. But right now, not really getting any indication that that's the case.
I think, as you would say, you hit the nail on the head. I don't think we're going to see Mylan Graham at slot. I do wonder why receivers will play more, but we play Ohio this weekend, so another chance for Mylan Graham to go out there and prove he deserves more snaps.
And who knows? I could be wrong. He could have been repping at slot all week, and we come out and Mylan Graham's playing slot, but haven't seen it in 2 years. It would be news. The way everyone reports it is like, oh yeah, Mylan Graham's just going to replace Brandon Inniss in the slot. It'd be like, this would be like the first week that he's like repping to play slot, and he would be jumping Bryson Rodgers. And with the way Bryson Rodgers is playing, I don't see them shaking it up like, yo, let's start we have 2 guys battling at slot that we believe in. Let's bring another guy into the mix. I don't know, man. I think it's far more likely that you're going to see those 3 on the field and the other 2 not get on than you are going to see them start shuffling positions, given what we've seen out of them the entirety of their career at Ohio State.
No, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I want Mylan Graham to get more snaps. I think he can be used. I think his speed is definitely a weapon, along with Bryson Rodgers, especially in the run game when they try to do those perimeter runs that they used to do with Emeka, and they did one with Brandon Inniss. So it can be used, but like I said, Brandon Inniss is the best slot. I don't think that's really up for question out of that group right now, and the coaches are also telling you that. And also, it's not like he looked terrible. Again, didn't look great against Texas. That's week 1. He looked a lot better against Grambling State in week 2. He just didn't have the highlight catches that Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate had.
Exactly. It'll be something to keep an eye on. It feels like the Buckeyes, the season is absolutely here. We're arguing about who should be RB1. We're arguing about who should be the slot. It's not a Buckeye season if we're not fighting with each other. I saw a comment on one of our videos the other day, and that said, no one hates the Buckeyes like Buckeye fans. I was like, man, he crushed it with that one. But Q, that's all I have for today. We have been here for an hour and 20 minutes after when I started writing the show this afternoon. I was like, man, I think we got maybe 32 minutes here. We have now crossed the 82-minute mark here. Bad math there. I think we're at 77 minutes or so. But Q, let the people know where they could find you if they want more hour-plus long content.
All right, well, if you want more content and you want to argue with me about that content, I'm CityBoy Quentin on Twitter, find it Johnson on Instagram. Make sure you hit those comments. Again, we will respond to those comments and get those done. So that's my job. So I will be in there helping out the crew, making sure we do that. But yeah, Monday through Friday here on Dead Air Sports of the Buckeye Roast. So make sure you like that video, hit the sub button if you are not subscribed. If you are on Twitter, hit that like and retweet, and don't be afraid to come over and hang out with us. We're not mad at that. No, nothing like a little YouTube traffic. And also, yeah, tell a friend, man. Tell a friend. Ron, where can they find you at?
You find me right here on Dead Air Sports Monday through Friday for the Buckeye Roast here at 8 a.m. with my guy Q. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. You can also find me on Twitter, that's at 2Ts2_TES. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure you repost that video. It helps us a ton. If you're watching here on Dead Air Sports, be sure to smash that like button. It is free. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps the channel a ton. Q, did you have anything to add before we get out of here? You know, the show has not been long enough. And I don't have to go edit something out of the beginning of the show because you don't know how to act.
No, man. I appreciate everybody joining us. Appreciate all the new subs, all that good stuff. And yeah, ready to close it out.
Absolutely. You guys know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
Ayo.
Example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can, you fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about a plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting the team prepared, ready to go, so when we start practice, our coaches know what we got. And there's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today they report or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44. One. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. To do right all the time. To know your assignments. To have 11 guys play hard on every snap. That's hard. That's why there's one. I want a hungry team. I want a hungry team. I want a team that can't wait to get out there. Where there's a bunch of players that maybe, whenever you're a new coaching staff, you haven't played much, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're a hungry football